What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Bobby Suarez podcast. I have a very special guest here today, Uly the Monster. Uly is a professional fighter that actually holds the fastest knockout in fighting in, bare knuckle history?
Combat sports history.
Combat sports history. He's also been featured on a bunch of music videos, including Pitbull and Farruko. And you were also on a featured film, Den of Thieves, right?
I was on Den of Thieves. If you blink, you miss me, but I was on it.
Yeah, no, I remember you with all the tats and without the shirt, so hard to forget.
Yeah, it actually became a meme for Father's Day for daughters. Yes, you know what I mean? It became like a big meme. So
I remember seeing that video flowing around social media for sure. Yeah. Man, and Uly, I want to jump right in, man, because I know life wasn't always good. I know you went, you turned all the negative in your life to positive.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey and how was, life growing up?
Yeah, absolutely. Born and raised in Miami. I was raised by a single mom. I never had a male role model in my life. I never had a father, an uncle, a cousin, nothing like that. I grew up, my mom, and to me, my friends were my family.
Okay.
As a kid, I always had this sense about me that I always wanted to be kind of the protector of my friends. If they were in trouble or anything was always a problem, I wanted to be the one standing up for it.
Okay.
And, getting raised that way and being that way and not really having anybody hovering over me to see what I was doing, I got into a ton of trouble. I was never a bully, but I used to love fighting. As a kid, it got me in a ton of trouble as a kid. I got sent to juvenile detention centers. I got sent to opportunity schools.
Wow.
As a young man, I got sent to prison for fighting. And man, at the age of, I came out of prison when I was 25 years old.
How long were you in?
I was in there for 2.5 years. It was for fighting on the streets.
Yeah.
And I was still kind of lost. I was still trying to figure out my way. No direction. I had nobody kind of pointing me in the right direction or, so I was just figuring everything on my own. And, everything that I thought I knew was, on the wrong side of things, And finally I had this come to God moment when I was 35. I was living in Colorado and I was just kind of sick of my own shit, And I just... I'm not a religious guy, but I am spiritual. I believe in God. That's what I got raised with. And I got on my knees that day. I cried and I just told God, man, take me out of this. I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
Please, I want to change my ways. And I moved. The next day I caught a flight to Miami, got back in the boxing gym. I always wanted to fight. I did amateur boxing when I was younger, about 19, 20 years old. But I already had kids at the time, so amateur boxing doesn't pay you. So it's hard to do things for free. You're kind of paying your way through and you got people to support, you got to support. So it was tough. But I said, you know what? I want to give this thing a try. I got in the ring. This is November of 2016. I got in the gym, started, working out. By the end of December, so about a good 2 full months of working out, right before 2017, I tell my coach, man, I want to take a fight. Give me a fight.
Yeah.
He said, you sure? I'm like, yeah. About 3-4 days later, they come back, hey, there's a fight in Dominican Republic. I ain't gonna lie, at first it was like a sense of like, am I really ready for this? It was kind of, scary.
Was a boxing match.
It was a boxing match in Dominican Republic. And I took it, I went over there, I won, and it was the biggest high I've gotten in life, man. It was a sense of accomplishment. People were proud of me for doing the right thing for, one of the first times in my life. And people, I got, even after 1, 2, 3 fights, I was getting kind of, recognition. People were proud of me for turning my life around. And I just stuck with it. And I found out what consistency is. I found out what hard work is, what discipline is, and what structure is,
It's funny you mentioned that because a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff, we get followed by a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff. And those words keep coming up. In order to be successful, you got to be consistent. Work hard at the beginning.
That's it.
People want, they expect to make all this money and work a few hours a week. That shit doesn't exist.
No. And to me, the key, at least for myself, my opinion, is consistency. I was telling my son the other day, you want to be successful? This is a secret that I found in successful people is that they do whatever it is they want to do. They find what they like to do and they just keep going. And you're going to have a lot of bad days before you have good days. But once you get to the good days, I'm not going to say it's an easy ride because it's not for anybody. There's just like life, it comes in waves. There's up and downs everywhere. But if you stay consistent, you're going to have a lot more better days than you are bad days.
I agree with you, man. I
think it was you that put consistency down Instagram too, right? Yeah. I was like, man, that's the key.
I'm always talking about that, Another thing that I tell people that, it's funny you mentioned that, focus on one thing. I always tell people, find your gold medal
right,
and run with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Focus on one thing. There's a lot of people are always, focusing on,
right,
oh, this guy's driving this car because I heard he's doing that business. Let me jump on, man, focus on what you're good at and do it on what you're passionate about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Uly, real quick, before we jump ahead, how was life, man, like in prison, man, being so young? How was that like? Do you feel that rehabilitated you, or did you come out more upset?
It definitely, so it rehabilitated me in the sense of like, once you're in there, you're like, I don't want to do this thing ever again. You know what I mean? I got to figure out a way not to do this. It did teach me a lot about myself in the sense of like, you're in a concrete jungle. You're in there with people who a lot of them, their life is over. And it's really unexplainable in words. I don't wish it upon nobody. I wouldn't want anybody to go find out for themselves, but it's just a whole different world. It's a whole different way of living. It's a whole different, you got to be this certain character. You got to carry yourself a certain way when you're living in that jungle. Once you step out, you got to figure out how to get away from that. And, which took me a while. Like I said, I got out at 25. I thought I was the baddest motherfucker on earth, you know what I mean? Because I did this at a young age, and I was like, I was in the gangs and I was doing this.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just kept going down the wrong road till finally, like I said, at 35, I was just sick of my own shit. And I think that's another very big important thing in people's life is that you're never gonna, whether it's drugs, whether it's depression, whether it's women, whatever it is that you have a vice, that hinders you,
mm-hmm.
You're never going to get away from any of that unless you yourself. Your mom could come and pray for you, and your friends could tell you you'll stop doing that. This girl sucks and this and that, and it doesn't matter until you want to do it. And it took me many years, but I found it, and biggest blessing I've had in my life was just being able to turn my life around, because now I'm able to be a good father. I have structure. I know how to lead my kids in the right way, and and tell them what to do in order for them to be successful.
Love that, man. Love that. Man, I see you're a fit dude. I feel like you've been fit probably your whole life, because I've been seeing videos of you when you were young and all that from your social media. And we have a lot of mutual friends, so I've known of you. How do you stay fit, man? What does a day in the life of Uly look like?
A day in the life of Uly, man. So staying fit, staying active, and working out is my life, because that's my job. I got to stay fit for fighting. I'm 42 years old. I have no time for days. I have no time for days off. The gym, to me, whether it's boxing or weights or any type of workout, to me is for my mental health. Once I miss the gym for a few days, I feel like shit about myself. I start getting kind of grumpy around people, and and my wife knows already, like, yo, you haven't made the gym, get back to it. And I just found that it's a huge factor for me. So working out is just a part of my life.
How many hours do you work out a day?
So right now, I start at 4 in the morning. I'm at the gym from 4 to 6 in the morning. I'm doing weights. From there, I go home. I eat a little breakfast, and I go straight to the boxing gym for like another 2 hours. And then I go about my day. I go about my day, take my kids to school. I do anything that I need to do along the day. And then when it comes to nighttime, I'll either go for a run, a bike ride. I try to do another type of exercise. So I consistently, 2 days you count on me, and then 3 days here and there.
Okay. And are you like on a tight diet regimen? Like what does your meals look like and things like that? Even for me, man, I'm trying to slim down. So
that's the most important part. The most important part is what you have in the kitchen, man. Because you can work out as much as you want, but if you're not eating right, you're just keeping a shield over your muscles, over your cuts.
Yeah.
Eating right. I try when I don't have a fight coming up, I try to stay consistent with my diet. I like 2 or 3 times. I like to eat out. I love food. I try to keep it to a minimum. I try not to go overboard. But then when I lock in with a fight, you tell me, I have this day, and I lock in until the fight's over. And then as soon as I come home from the fight, man, I'm eating whatever I want again.
Back. How long usually do you have an anticipation once you know a fight is coming?
I like to have a good 6 weeks. Like I said, I never stop working out anyway, so I'm always in the flow. But I like to have a good 6 weeks to prepare.
Okay, like a month and a half. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. What is your preference? I know you've done combat sports,
Yeah.
which is a little obviously different from boxing. What is your the one that you're better at, or
Yeah.
the one that you like doing it better?
So I've done glove boxing. I'm 14-1. I've done MMA. I'm 2-1, and I'm bare knuckle. I'm 3-2. Both my losses came at world title fights. So I've had huge opportunities in fights. My favorite, to be honest, is bare knuckle. For a couple of reasons. It's a new company that's up on the rise, and I'm one of the beginning guys. My first fight for BKFC was a BKFC 10. They're getting on to like 50 now. I have the fastest knockout in combat sports history on bare knuckle. They give me a huge platform to be able to do what I do. For MMA, I've had back surgery when I was younger. I'm missing a bicep, and I'm just getting older, man. So it's hard to wrestle, and it's hard to do mixing everything. You know what I mean, with my body, it's tough. And besides that, MMA, you have to be in the gym all day because there's many different things you got to be good at.
Got it.
So I enjoy bare knuckle and I enjoy boxing. My favorite would be bare knuckle, though.
Okay.
Because it's fast, it's to the point, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have you know who wins and who loses in 10 minutes.
Man, I've seen the clip of you knocking that guy out, and it was like the fastest, obviously, knockout in combat sports history. How was that feeling, man? That you knew you did that. Like I saw you jumping after. How was it for you, man? Mentally,
Man, it was one of the most incredible defining moments in my life. Because whatever you do in life, I feel like you're always looking for how am I going to make my stamp? How am I going to leave my legacy in whatever it is you do, whether it's real estate, whether it's fighting, whatever it is. And that moment, I feel like I cemented my legacy. I cemented my name in history. And my name rang bells around the world for that moment, because just like in life, right now everything's instant gratification.
Yeah.
So people remember me for a while, and they still do, and it was great, man. I got a lot of notoriety from it. I got interviewed from everywhere in the world, and it was very big defining moment in my life. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Do you see yourself venturing out to any other businesses now that you have a bigger name? People know who Uly the Monster is. Are you looking to start venturing out into other businesses at all? Or are you looking to stay focused on your fighting career?
No, I'm looking to venture out into other businesses. Fighting's not forever. I wanna retire from fighting and not let fighting retire me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of great opportunities that come to me through fighting. I've built an amazing network through my fight career. I don't have anything that I could tell you, hey, this is what I want to do. Maybe something in the sports management business. I don't want to manage any fighters, but I know a lot about the business where I could maybe advise and help people, or point them in the right direction.
Love that. Love that. What advice would you give somebody that's a young entrepreneur or even a fighter? What should they be focusing on to get into boxing or combat sports?
If they want to get into combat sports or just anything in life, I'm going to circle back and tell them that they have to be consistent with it.
Okay.
And again, you're going to have a lot more bad days than you are good days at the beginning. Everything's going to suck. Waking up early is going to suck. Getting beat up in the gym is going to suck, and working out. But it gets to the point that if this is really what you want to do, it gets to the point where you're gonna start loving it, and people are gonna start noticing that you're doing what you want to do with affection, and then you're coming in with a happy face, and you're doing, whether it's a terrible day, you got a smile on your face, and good opportunities come from consistency. That's what I've noticed.
Do you see like combat sports and boxing like similar to like playing in the major leagues or playing in the NBA? Is it hard to break into that? To be a real fighter or a known fighter, or even to start monetizing it, from fighting? Is it hard, would you say?
Yes, I think it is hard, because fighting is a business. You could be a great fighter, but if you're not good at business, you could be 30-0 and nobody knows you.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that you got to do behind the scenes, outside of the ring, that help out in your fighting career, and that comes with with businesses, with getting sponsorships. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. You got to be good with people. You got to be and have a network, and I'm sure it's just just like anything else, you know, you lend a hand to get a hand lent back to you at times, you know, and
It's build relationships, networking.
Exactly.
I like that. Uly, I wanted to bring up, I saw you on a commercial for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Man, how was that? That was a badass commercial.
That was another blessing in disguise, man.
You did it with pit bulls in that commercial?
Yeah. So Pitbull is a friend of mine. He's I don't even consider him a friend. I consider him a brother. We've been, you know, a friend since we're 11 years old. Like I said, he's more of a brother to me than anything. He called me the night before that commercial. I was laying in bed. It was probably like 11 o'clock at night. He's like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? What's up? I'm filming a commercial. I need you to be in it with me. Wow. All right, cool. When I get there, it's Michael Bay's directing it, which is the guy from Transformers. And, you know, and it was just, you know, J-Lo, and it was just a huge thing. He gave me a huge opportunity, which he has many times. He's a huge inspiration and a motivation in my life for many, many years. Huge help. Just even to not even financially, just being able to pick up the phone and call and ask for, you know, advice. And he gave me that opportunity, and that was just another huge, you know, opportunity in my life that just cemented on the internet. You know,
I can tell he's a great dude. I mean, I've only had the pleasure of meeting him twice, and it was very brief.
Yeah.
The last time I met him was at my cousin's wedding.
Oh, nice.
She's married to Jordan, and he stopped by after, and I'm like, dude, just a humble dude, man. You know, super cool dude.
He is.
Obviously, Pavel is always hanging out.
Pavel, I consider Pavel a brother too. I love him, and he's been on. You know, he's been around us from the beginning too. Yeah, from the beginning.
Love it. Are you seeing yourself maybe doing more movies or appearing in films like you did in Den of Thieves with 50 Cent?
Man, you know what? I would love to. I was actually, during COVID, I was taking some acting classes with an acting coach online. I had some stuff kind of interrupted, but I would like to circle back with that. I would love to do, you know, some movies or get just those type of opportunities.
Yeah, I think so. With definitely with like your image, there's a lot of movies where they could utilize.
Right. Yeah, I tell them every time I do something, I tell them I'm stereotyped. I'm always a bad guy. You know, when it's cool though. I'll play it.
When my daughters go to prom, I'm gonna have you head out of the garage.
Let's go.
We could refilm that meme.
Perfect.
That's awesome, man. Talking about that, Uly, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I know we've talked a little bit about some of the stuff you're looking to do, but where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, more in detail per se.
You know, that's a great question, man. That's a great question. I was forgot who was saying the other day, but it was you know what is? I listen to a lot of motivational speakers and entrepreneurs, and they were like, one of the biggest questions, like important questions to ask yourself is where you think you see yourself in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I have a story about that. So when I was probably like 20, 21 years old, I was with Pitbull, and we're out South Beach. We're going to a club. It's called Warsaw. This old club back in the day on South Beach. Man, the old heads will remember this.
Yeah.
And we're in line, and we're dressed decent, you know, and we're shuffling across the line, and we get to the front, and the guys at the front go, you know, it's two guys trying to get to the club. You know, I get it, but still, they're like, "Oh no, you're good, though. You can't get in." Like, what?
Yeah.
So back in that time, you know, I was a little more aggressive and a little big-headed. So I start going off and cussing at these guys, and Pitt grabs me on my chest. He's like, "Hey, chill." He goes, "In 5 years, these guys will be begging me to come in here." And look where he's at now. He's absolutely right. So I always go back to that moment, you know, where I see myself in 5 years. I would like to see myself owning a business, if not helping somebody run a major business. When it comes to like sports management, I think I'm good in that field just because I'm great at networking. I'm good at keeping relationships. I still have friends like Pavel, like Pitbull, like all these people, like many others that I have for 25 years plus.
Yeah.
So I think I could really do people a service with my network and the capability I have of being able to be one or two people, a connection around the world. Exactly.
I love
so. If I see myself in 5 years, I can't tell you specifically where, because I'm still giving fighting another good run of a year, and but I see myself definitely in the sport business, trying to help people get to the next level.
Love that. Do you have any fights lined up now that you're currently working on or exploring?
So I've had a rough year this year. I fought in London in February on a Mayweather card.
Okay.
And in March, I had some crazy news with family. It was a tough situation. Then I took another fight with the same Mayweather card in June because honestly took it, man, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I took it for a paycheck because I found myself in a hard position, and this is an opportunity to get a nice a paycheck. I went to that fight from my hospital room to the fight and right back to the hospital room. Thank God that situation is taken care of. Everything's on the better end of it. Thank God. And so for my next fight, I sat down with my management company this week. We're looking at a December date. I'm looking at close to Christmas. I'm thinking it might be BKFC. I don't have an exact date. I don't have an opponent, but I will definitely circle back with you when I do. Maybe we could put that on,
Yeah, man, I would love to. And I would even love to
Absolutely.
see one of your fights live, man.
Absolutely. I would love to have you.
Hopefully, if it's in South Florida, we could do that.
Oh, it is. It is. It's supposed to be bare knuckle in Miami in second week in December. So we'll see what happens with
Love it.
negotiations.
All right, so also Uly, man, I noticed that your wife is also a superstar. She's a WWE wrestler.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about her and what she does?
Absolutely, yeah. So shout out to my wife, Ashley. She was Dana Brooke on WWE. She just recently got out of her contract. She was with WWE for 10 years.
Okay.
She was a superstar, one of the WWE divas. Had an amazing career. She's been successful in everything she's done. She was a junior Olympian as a kid for gymnastics.
Wow.
She got her doing gymnastics. She went to a diving team, became national champion. Got sick of diving, went to bodybuilding. She became an IFBB pro. She was in Mr. Olympia, Arnold Classics. She was a image woman of the year.
Wow.
Amazing. She's a huge motivation and inspiration in my life. She's really helped me get myself structured, and cut the fat, in meaning like you are who you surround yourself with, and it's a big thing. And when you're a guy like me who comes from from hanging out in the hood and being with your homies and doing things, when you kind of take a step back and you stop answering phone calls and you stop like dealing with the bullshit, you kind of, and again, I'm speaking for you, kind of feel like if you kind of sold out, you ask yourself again, did I sell these guys out or not? But then when you circle back and these guys are still doing the same shit.
Yeah, they haven't.
Can I cuss on this? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. And they're still doing the same shit. You're like, man, I did make the right move by not answering these calls and just moving ahead with my life, because nobody's gonna take care of you like you. Nobody's gonna take care of your kid and your family. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make it sound harsh or anything, because everybody knows I still got love for them. But we're all grown ups now, and if I see you, it's nothing but love. But I gotta keep going on my path,
100%. And what's your wife's future now? What is she looking to get into now? What's next for her?
Man, for her, she has a ton of opportunities. Like I said, she's been successful in everything she's done in life. She's just had a 10-year career in WWE. There's many opportunities out there. A lot of people blowing up her phone for different opportunities. I can't really say any specifics yet, because she's still, like anything else, she's still on a contract that needs to expire.
Yeah.
But once that does, her doors are wide open. Whatever it is, she's a very smart individual. She's thinking about becoming a lawyer, which is amazing. Wow. So yeah, she has all her doors are open.
Love that, man. Love that. Uly, man, how could people follow you? What's your social media handle?
Absolutely. My social media handle, and the only one I really look at, is Instagram. It's Uly, ULY_monster. And you can find me on there. DM me, and I answer back, and I try to keep the people motivated, man. That's what my thing's all about. I try to motivate as much as possible. And I need motivation myself, So I look on there for people motivating me, and I try to push it forward.
You have mentioned earlier that you're always hearing like different motivational speakers. Yeah. Who are a couple of people you follow?
Tony Robbins was the big one, man. I actually met Tony Robbins through Pitt. He invited me to one of his biggest seminars in New Jersey. I went, like 2017. It was amazing. And I've listened to a lot of them, many different ones. Les Brown.
Yeah.
And it's always the same thing, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's basically wake the fuck up, you know what I mean? And stop complaining and bitching about your shit and go out there and fucking get it, you know? Again, the key is consistency. And one thing I heard about consistency is like, look, there was a guy who used to like the fried chicken. He fried chicken, became Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know what I mean? Just stay consistent.
And he did it in old age too.
He did it in old age, you know, but he stayed consistent. And again, I've repeated this many times throughout this podcast and many times in my own podcast and just in conversations. And it might sound cliche, but consistency is fucking key. Stay on your job, stay doing it. You're going to have a lot of bad days, but when the sun's shining that day, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it'll be there for a long time.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. No, I just, people that know me out there, I try to pay it forward as much as possible. We used to do a lot of community work, giving out food to the homeless. During COVID, we did it every month when we had a lockdown. We were helping small businesses that were closing down. We were trying to buy food off them. The Miami Dolphins were helping us. Channel 7 News. Anybody out there that has something that I can be a helping hand to, or that I could, extend a helping hand to with my network or anything, please reach out, because I would love to help out anywhere I could.
You know, funny you mentioned that. In one of the first interviews that we did, I had mentioned to them that I would love to start a foundation to help high school kids specifically on how to teach them how to be a better steward of money. Like, I remember when I was 18 years old.
That is a great idea.
Oh, yeah. I remember I got a $300 credit card. The first thing I did was buy a DVD player, a movie, and sneakers, and I'm already maxed out. So I feel a lot of high school kids can learn how
teach you how to manage money.
Yeah, man, how to write a check, about credit, debt, how to buy your first car.
Yeah.
So I would love to, my vision on it is to get different entrepreneurs involved to donate their time and obviously raise money for like literature and stuff like that to give to the students. I would even love if we could put that something like together, with our connections and stuff.
I would love to. Matter of fact, as we were talking, I'm already, machining up here. But yeah, that'd be great, because you're absolutely right, man. They do not teach you how to manage your money.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And look at all these guys. They go to the NFL and make zillions of dollars, and a couple years later they're broke.
The majority of them go bankrupt, man.
Yeah. So that's a very important thing. And another thing about just on that topic, I'm a dad. Mm-hmm. I'm a very proud father. I got a 10-year-old boy right now that I'm helping. I'm helping him become a man, and that's one of the important things is teaching him how to manage money, teaching him what's important, what's not, and and it's hard these days because the instant gratification on Instagram, and you see, you're like, oh no, this guy got a Porsche, bro. I mean, I'm just, but the thing is, what you see at that moment doesn't mean it's true or real. You know what I mean? That's what you got to kind of get. And if it is, hey, God bless you. And I'm very happy for you. You know what I mean? I wish no hate on nobody. I wish nothing but success. But everybody has their time in life, and you never know when yours is. Just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you'll fall in line with your time.
There's different phases in life, man.
Exactly.
And everything has to take its course.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, Uly, man, I really thank you again for coming out here and doing this. You're an inspiration to me, man, and a lot of people, man. So keep it up, man. Keep changing the world.
Thank you.
Right?
Bobby, I truly appreciate you, man. Thank you for giving me the platform. Thank you for your time. And it's amazing what you're doing here. I love the setup you got going on.
Thank you.
I would love to, we'll do a recap one of these days soon.
100%.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, brother.
All right.